Hello, hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. James here for today's ACCA Financial Management F9 examination video, where we're going to walk and talk you through a Section C in focus video, where we're going to be going through all the particulars to help you pass your examination. And I know just the lady who is going to help us out. So Jo, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Jo Tuffle. I'm the FME tutor for doing FM online learning, and I've been teaching this, oh goodness me, how long now? Over 15 years. I'm gonna keep saying over 15. I'm not gonna go for the 20, yeah. So I love FM. I love it beyond belief. I consider FM a sexy subject of accounting. I've put it out there, James.
Well, we've got to go through those aspects of Section C that are just so imperative for students to know that could be the difference in getting them the pass. So kick us off, Jo. What are the fundamentals for any student to really thrive and get the best marks in Section C?
Well, the fundamentals is to really plan your answer, because the easy marks are there, aren't they? And so sometimes students need to think, do I really need to go straight for that calculation? Or will I get more marks from writing those discussion aspects? Sometimes they're not interrelated with the calculations, especially in FM. They're not related. So I think one of those tips is to think like that. Think I'm going to grab those easy marks first. Now, we get this all the time, don't we? What's going to come up in my Section C?
Easier said than done, isn't it? But if you had to do your FM exam again, Jo, what is going to come up on it?
Well, you can guarantee that you are going to get 2 questions from 3 main syllabus areas: working capital, investment appraisal, and business finance. You are not going to get a Section C question on foreign exchange management, interest rate management, or business valuations. You may get a little discursive question on the economic environment or the financial management environment, but really the fundamental question will come from those 3 key areas. And that is great news, okay? That is great news, because this examining team are repeating things, okay? So the latest examiner's report shows you that clearly. They reference previous questions. This was similar to this question. In fact, sometimes it was so similar that, it was a gift. So we do need to realize that practicing past questions from this examining team will be really important. I think the hardest thing for FM sitters is that they find the concepts hard. So as long as you understand the concepts and you've practiced it using the past papers, you should be okay. So if you're finding those concepts hard, then you need to get a good tutor, or, you need to get a study buddy or somebody to help drum those in. So fundamentally, I think the FM exam is definitely more passable than some of the other exams, which we may talk about.
Oh, no, that's fair. No, that's fair. You've got such experience, and it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
insightful that you can't just pass this on just purely the calculations. You're going to have discursive answers, and as well in the external examiner's report, they always refer to that students just don't answer some areas of the Section C area because they've just run out of time as well.
Yeah, I think that is fundamentally a problem as well, because what they're trending to do is like, I am going to be very formulaic about this exam. I'm going to do A, I'm going to do B, and then I'm going to do C. They spend far too much time on A and B, and then where you will pass the exam as Section C is kind of squeezed, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I would also put that Section C in the middle of your exam. You're calmer because you've done some of the exam, the Section A stuff. You're in the middle of your exam, you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Use the middle of your exam to really get those fundamental constructive response marks. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Some people prefer calculations, some people don't, some people like discursive questions. But the mistake that people make is that they try and recreate something in the exam, which they could easily have had a format for and remember the format for, and then literally just put it down on the paper. So if you get an investment appraisal question,
Yeah.
now I know if you get a lovely, I mean, everybody's going to go, oh, joy, I've got a proper
Oh,
MPV, you
easy.
know,
4
easy,
years,
great,
some
yeah, yeah,
positive cash flows,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
negative. Give me
But
some
what they
marks.
then do is, because they've remembered the previous question, they've got the great format. Don't get me wrong, you've got a great format, but don't misread the questions. It could say starting in year 1 instead of current year. It could say I want the real version, not the nominal version. It could say tax is in the year, tax is delayed. So really, okay, it's great to have your format and it's joyous to see that sort of question, but you could be losing massive marks by just not reading properly.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And also the fact that, as you said, some students leave it till last, the last section. So they're really struggling for time as well. So I
And
agree
there's
with,
easy marks.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with putting it in the middle part, probably doing section A first, then C, then B. And also, I thought it was a really good point you made there as to the calculations and the discursive elements sometimes don't actually link up. So if you think that you could do better on the discursive, get some points down there, and they could be easier marks from a shorter space of time spent on them.
Yeah. And the examining team on those discursive elements, so the calculation elements, I think nobody's got an excuse, quite frankly. It's very formulaic. You can learn a format for all of the types of calculations that are asked of. There's enough practice examples to do that. And you should be practicing on the platform in that spreadsheet. MPV functions, IRR functions, much quicker way of doing it. Even doing the valuation, the cost of debt, it's much simpler to use the IRR function. It's so much quicker. And that is shown on some of my ACCA videos that I've been doing with the ACCA. So, or ask me, send me a message and say, how do I do that? And I'll send it back. But the thing is, there's no real excuse in that, because the only variable is putting the information that goes in, and that just requires careful reading.
Yeah,
And
practice as well, because once you start to see it sort of like forming in different requirements, they may word it in certain ways, you'll pick up on it a lot easier.
But also, if you do find, I don't know where that, sometimes they do this really annoying thing in a WACC calculation. They ask you to put a loan in the WACC calculation. It's a long-term loan, but they don't give you the rate for the loan. So you just spend 10 minutes stressing because there's no rate. Well, they haven't given you a rate because you've just got to assume it's the same as the other debt. And that's slightly annoying, I know. But I would not spend 10 minutes worrying about something like that. I would assume the issue away and say it's the same as the coupon rate of that one, or it's this, because those are complete follow-through marks. And actually, you've got it right, because you had to assume a figure anyway. So as long as I think you know this, but markers like to see things laid out in a beautiful way, but not a pretty way. Yeah. So don't spend ages highlighting and stuff, but make it obvious, highlight the answer, make it obvious where you've picked a figure up from and you're using it, because if the figure's wrong and it goes into, say, your WACC calculation, you'll get the marks for the end point, whatever. You just lose half a mark for the bit that you didn't do correct. And so that is why I say practice your formats and just have them in your head ready for that. I'm just going to download it in the exam and then use the numbers in the scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And then with your exam practice, you'll work out how to lay it out line by line, and then you'll be picking up on those working marks. And if you do make a small mistake, you'll get the carry forward, own figure marks. But I'm afraid the bottom line is it comes with practice on the CBE platform, time. And we know students don't like to do it, but we've got to get it on record. Sometimes I'm afraid you've just got to sit down and say, right, 20 marks, 1.8 minutes per mark, 36 minutes. I've just got to do it.
Yeah, yes. And there are not that many variants to get. There's like 3, within working capital, you can get 2 types of inventory questions. You can get 2 types of trade receivable questions and 1 type of payables question. You can get the operating cash flow, whatever it is, cycle.
Yeah, operating cash flow cycle.
Cycle, yeah, that
It's
one.
all right, Joe. You've got all this FM knowledge in your
My head,
mind.
yeah.
Don't worry, it's
There
all
aren't
right.
that many that, and sometimes they're all within the same question. So it's important that you realize that if you do practice and you have your formats, you're going to go, whoa, I've got this bit, and then all you need to worry about is making sure the information is read carefully. Yeah. So with the discursive elements of these section C, I think that's where I would say most students will go, oh, I do struggle to know what to say. Would you say that?
I would say so on there. I find lots of students who get in touch with me about the FM exam don't pick up on the sort of buzzwords in the question. There might be aspects like productivity or cash flow or linking it back to the financial manager, little things like that, where people will write an answer, but then it won't actually answer the requirement. So you write a lovely little page, and then I'm afraid you actually get naught on there.
I know. And so, I mean, the classic one with students is they've remembered the answer from a previous question. And that question was written like, what are the advantages of the IRR for something?
Yeah.
As opposed to the other techniques. So you've learned that. But this question says, what are the advantages of the IRR to one technique called net present value? And there aren't many, but the thing is, and then you're discussing the advantages and disadvantages, but then they're bringing in ROCE, they're bringing in this, and they haven't asked that. They said MPV. So they've maybe written half of their points based on the other techniques, but they're not going to get any marks for that because they're not comparing it to the question, which was NPV.
Yeah.
And that's the classic mistake. You've learned an answer, but you haven't read the question correctly.
Yeah.
And you kind of fit your answer to the question. Yeah.
Yes, rather than being specific. I think they call it just knowledge dump. You've seen the word IRR and gone,
and you're
I know all of
it.
this about IRR. I'm just going to put it down on the paper, and I'm sure it will pick up some marks here and there on it. Will be fine. But overall, Joe, are there any other final key points that could help a student get some extra marks in section C that you couldn't sleep tonight if we didn't get it on record for the recording?
Well, I think basically read those examiners' articles because they're great. The FM articles are absolutely brilliant. The examining team want you to pass. And so they have written their section C feedback very, very clearly. They say, use the functionality of the spreadsheet. Tell us what each of your variable means in the formula, but then use the cell to calculate it. Don't write everything out in long form. It doesn't, that's the whole point. You wouldn't do that at work. You wouldn't do that at work, would you? You would use the functionality of the spreadsheet. And so often in FM, what's really important, which is there is a calculation for, say, calculate the economic order quantity, and then calculate the and cost that up, and then calculate the current policy and cost it up. Well, it's exactly the same. It's just a change of a quantity. So why spend time rewriting it all out when you can just copy it and paste it down below and change the numbers? It's using that. So I think, I wouldn't sleep at night if I didn't say that my top tip is to use the examiner's reports, because they work in conjunction with what they're saying on the CBE platform, and use it side by side, and you'll realize, oh my goodness, what a silly mistake I was just about to make. And they're talking about how to get those points also in the discursive bits. So we haven't discussed this quickly, but we need to use headings. We need to separate out our points, and we need to write in full sentences.
Easy peasy. And we'll be fine.
Don't get half marks. And I know a student said to me once, well, how do I change this to be a full sentence? And I said, well, what were you trying? And they said to me, I said, the IRR is a percentage measure. So it's easy. And I said, yeah, but that's not, you haven't explained why.
Mm.
So you say the major advantage of the IRR, setting up the sentence, is it's a percentage measure, which means it's easily understood by managers, non-financial managers, because they're used to interest rates and inflation rates.
Yeah.
That's a full sentence.
Mm.
It's not because it's a percentage measure.
Yeah. And that's the difference between no marks and 1 mark on there.
Now, they think they're going to get half a mark, but there's no half marks, isn't there, on the discursive elements now.
Exactly. It's all or nothing on there, Joe, isn't it, on there? But thank you so much for all of those tips, tricks, insights as well. And guys, what I've done is I put all of Joe's details as ever in the description below. And of course, I think for a super treat, I'll even put the examiner's report link. So there is no excuse for you not to follow Joe's tips down there.
Yeah.
And let us know in the comments how you get on in your exam and what you thought of the video. But I hope you enjoyed today, Joe, talking FM as well.
Yeah, I love FM. I've told you it's a sexy subject.
The comments below will be there going, not sure about that, James. I just sort of want to get 50 plus on it. But if you'd like access to all the other videos that myself and Joe have done, guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the button below. And of course, you've enjoyed today's video, so be sure to give it a massive like and feel free to share it with your FM study buddies, because it could be the difference in getting that 50 plus and passing your exam on there. But as ever, thank you so much, Joe. And we've got to go do another recording now.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye.